lack of professionalism, lack of tact, and corruption in the Senate, with a 4,000 voter turnout. These are the characteristics of most elections, but in particular, the 2007 fall Senate elections. It was a campaign trail full of roadblocks, detours, and road rage, flashing caution signals to the UC Davis student population. A red light, green light election turned into a traffic jam. Ignacio Torres has the exclusive interviews with Senate officials.
The campaign trail got off to a rough start as Brian Goldberg left the race due to his academic standing. I had a chance to interview Jeremy Ross, chair of elections, to get his opinion on Brian Goldberg's departure.
He dropped out later than anyone that I've seen, because he'd been to the candidates workshop, and we had his picture and all this. So it's probably the latest dropout of the race that I've seen. It wasn't really clear again who the front runner is, so it's really hard to speculate what effect that had on the results.
Obviously, it was a little bit of a surprise to us, and it did affect us a little bit. But we just tried to forget about that. We just tried to take our challenges as it came along. It was a challenge. We dealt with it, and overall, we don't feel it compromised anything.
The road got even bumpier when the Go slate was taken to court by the campus judicial board for the illegal usage of the ASUCD logo on their website and Facebook account. The logo was taken down, and the case was then withdrawn and later dismissed. What came next brought the professionalism of the candidates into question. It was a series of forums full of outlashes and derogatory rage. All allegations of homophobic remarks and violent threats at the forums were brought to the ASUCD Senate meeting the following day.
I was very disappointed with what happened at the dorm debates. I was not there. I was at another meeting for Outreach Assembly. But hearing about what happened to Aaron Harrington and then what happened to one of our volunteers upset me greatly, and I expressed that at Senate that week. And since I was able to express my feelings about it and how disappointed I was that people would stoop so low, I'm kind of over it, hopefully.
I kept my game plan. I continued to campaign just like I normally would, and it was addressed in the Senate meeting. I did let everyone know that I had I had affiliation with that person. But after that, I completely cut off ties with he had nothing to do with Go. He misrepresented myself, my campaign, Go, and ASUCD, and essentially UC Davis students because of his intolerance and ignorance. And since then, we've been more careful about people that we let represent our party.
As the election accelerated, word of corruption and dirty campaigning took over the gossip on campus and outraged the student body and associations.
I know that all of us were slightly hesitant to pass something in the bylaws that mandates we go to, all these trainings and stuff. And every time stuff like this happens, it just makes me realize the need and the importance for it even more. So I know I personally realized that I can't think for every community. So more specifically, one of my resolutions that affects a certain community, I'm actually going to the Cross-Cultural Center tomorrow morning to talk to them and make sure that everything in my resolution is up to their standards as opposed to Senate standards.
I feel that some of the elected senators will change things, but the ones like Phil, I believe his name is Philman, who actually got up and walked out, I feel that he's not, because if you can't take the pressure of being a senator and everything that is associated with it, then how can you represent my student body? And so it's like, if you're here to represent me, then you will make the necessary changes that I get, that I give you. And he wasn't about that. Like, he really couldn't handle that, so I don't feel that he'll make any changes whatsoever. But the rest of the senators who did apologize on the Go slate, I feel that they will make some changes. I don't feel that all the changes will be made, but we can't expect people to make all changes at once,
During hours of violent debate, unwarranted accusations were thrown across the ASUCD meeting room, and candidates, along with senators, were verbally accused.
Absolutely, I think so. I feel like senators were kind of pointed out today, and I feel like it was needed and necessary, but I feel like some senators also actually reflected and realized that there needs to be change on this campus, and I think those senators will make a major change on this campus.
After all was said and done, a need for change was recognized by senators, and apologies were brought to the table. The candidates overcame the roadblocks and swerved through controversies, only to reach more turmoil on Election Day. An overwhelming majority of the voter turnout were surprisingly freshmen, which called suspicion on voting strategies.
We certainly know when something's going on. It's pretty obvious when because when people vote, we can see their IP addresses, and in the dorms, the IP address includes their room number, and so a way of identifying the room number. And so you can actually see patterns of voting sometimes where it'll be from door to door, like within 5-minute intervals. So it's pretty clear in a situation like that something's going on that shouldn't be.
During November 16, votes were tallied and the 6 newly elected senators were announced. Among the excitement and eagerness to initiate their terms, rumors about a recall began to spread.
Well, all I have to say is rumors are rumors, and the rumors are way more hurtful than the truth. And but at the same time, like, it's almost comical the way people take things. So that's about it.
After talking to a few of the officials, it seems that unity is what's being demanded for future elections. This has been Ignacio Torres. Back to you, Alexa.
So where do we go from here? How does this affect the UC Davis student population? This is a call for action, change, and unity of our ASUCD Senate. Regardless of the events of these past couple of weeks, something needs to be done to combat the corruption of the Senate. I'm Alexa Steinberg for AGTV.